CBP and ICE resources. Law and order will prevail, and President Trump will make sure of it.
There's also the discussion in here that the Pentagon should regard U.S. cities as, quote, a big part of war.
Portland, Oregon, where it looks like a war zone. They're brave in our inner cities, which we're going to be talking about, because it's a big part of war now. It's a big part of war. The radical left Democrats, what they've done to San Francisco, Chicago, New York, Los Angeles, they're very unsafe places, and we're going to straighten them out one by one. We should use some of these dangerous cities as training grounds for our military, National Guard, but military, because we're going into Chicago very soon.
The president making a wholly unprecedented claim that the military should use cities where Americans live as, quote, training grounds.
We're getting new reports about a chilling and downright shocking escalation of ICE tactics against the residents of Chicago. Hundreds of armed federal agents and police, backed up by riot trucks, smoke grenades, and helicopters, breached fences and busted doors in an immigration raid on an entire apartment building on the city's south side. They pulled dozens of residents from their homes and zip ties, including children, some of them without any clothes. They then held some outside for hours and dragged the others into rented vans.
It was scary because I've never had a gun put in my face.
Neighbors like Ebony Watson says they ducked for cover as they heard several flashbangs go off.
They was terrified. The kids was crying. People was screaming. They looked very distraught. I was out there crying when I seen the little girl come around the corner. Because they was bringing the kids out too. Had them zip tied to each other. One of them literally laughed. He was standing right here. He said, them kids.
They zip tied the kids together. ICE put out a statement saying they were pursuing Trinidad gang members, but U.S. citizens living in the building say they were detained too. The cops told them that if they had any unrelated warrants, they wouldn't be going back home. 37 people were ultimately arrested after agents separated children from their parents on the street.
We must train and we must maintain. Any moment that we are not training on our mission or maintaining our equipment is a moment we are less prepared for preventing or winning the next war. That is why today, at my direction, we are drastically reducing the ridiculous amount of mandatory training that individuals and units must execute. We've already ended the most egregious. Now we're giving you back real time. Less PowerPoint briefings and fewer online courses, more time in the motor pool, and more time on the range. Our job is to make sure you have the money, equipment, weapons, and parts to train and maintain, and then you take it from there. You all know this because it's common sense. The tougher and the higher the standards in our units, the higher the retention rates in those units. Warriors want to be challenged. Troops want to be tested. When you don't train and you don't maintain, you demoralize. And that's when our best people decide to take their talents to the civilian world. The leaders who created the woke department have already driven out too many hard chargers. We reverse that trend right now. There is no world in which high-intensity war exists without pain, agony, and human tragedy. We are in a dangerous line of work. You are in a dangerous line of work. We may lose good people. But let no warrior cry out from the grave, if only I had been properly trained. We will not lose warfighters because we failed to train or equip them or resource them. Shame on us if we do. Train like your warriors' lives depend on it. Because they do. To that point, basic training is being restored to what it should be. Scary, tough, and disciplined. We're empowering drill sergeants to instill healthy fear in new recruits, ensuring that future warfighters are forged. Yes, they can shark attack, they can toss bunks, they can swear, and yes, they can put their hands on recruits. This does not mean they can be reckless or violate the law, but they can use tried and true methods to motivate new recruits, to make them the warriors they need to be.
All right, first and foremost, I'm going to give all praise, glory, and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Racha, HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect. Shalom Barakatham. You just saw the video. This is from the elder Manat Zakba out there in the South Carolina. The snippet before his video. War is being waged on you, okay? And whether you tribes realize it or not, war is coming to your doorstep. Now, if you hear and pay attention to the words, the choice of words being used, okay, you'll hear the word war a lot, okay? Not only have they changed the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War, but you hear Pete Hegseth referring to U.S. soldiers as warriors now, okay? That's what he's calling them, warriors, okay? And he's shoring up their training and their physical capability for a reason, okay? It's because America has gotten soft over the years, okay? Their men have gotten faint, and they know that they need these men now to accomplish, an undisclosed objective, okay? And what that's going to be is to roll on you tribes. I want to move it back real quick to something Nero said, okay? Because he called this out specifically.
New York.
U.S. cities as, quote, a big part of war.
Portland, Oregon, where it looks like a war zone. They're brave in our inner cities, which we're going to be talking about, because it's a big part of war now. It's a big part of war.
The inner cities are a big part of war now. So that is now the agenda. Who lives in the inner cities? Okay? Negroes and Latinos primarily. Okay? And if you don't think this guy is serious, okay, look at his track record. Okay? He's always spoken something bold and proud before he went to take an act up on those proud things. Okay? You see? They had to give you a reason in 2001 to go for them to go invade 7 countries. Okay, they didn't just go over there; they demonized them first, so they had a good excuse. Okay, I wanted to read this first, Ecclesiastes 10. Okay, verse 5. It says, "There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, as an error which proceeded from the ruler." Okay. And if you read it in the NLT, it says, "There's another evil I have seen under the sun. Kings and rulers make a grave mistake." Okay? Because this is the point where the Lord is going to show up, man. When you start to try to put your hands on the Israelites, okay, knowing that the elect is among the Israelites, that's when the Lord is going to show up, man. We're in the time where the standard is going to be lifted up, man. Okay? That's coming. It says, "Folly is set in great dignity, and the rich sit in a low place." Okay? And who are the real rich? The elect. Okay? We're in a low place. Okay? But we're going to be hidden or defended when the time comes. It says, "I have seen servants upon horses and princes walking as servants upon the earth." So it's upside down world. Okay? Esau's really the servant. He's really the one that should be served, as it's written in the book of Genesis. Okay? I believe it's the 25th chapter. "The elder shall serve the younger." Okay? That's a prophecy. So Esau really has no business ruling over us, but the Lord set it up this way for the sake of prophecy playing out to the way the Most High wants it. Okay? It's all going to make sense in the end. Okay? Why are we here? Why are we persecuting? Why did the Lord suffer these things upon us, man? Because the Lord has a story that's being written, okay? And nothing of value is without effort or pain or suffering or resistance, okay? Nobody's going to be able to say we didn't earn the kingdom, okay? When it's all said and done. Verse 8, "He that diggeth the pit shall fall into it, and whoso breaketh an hedge and serpent shall bite him." Okay, so he's gonna be hit with all kind of mischiefs when he tries to attack us, man. Okay, Remember when in Genesis 19, those sodomites tried to put hands on Lot and his family, and the angel had their ass blinded, man. Okay? You see? All right? It says, let me find it. This whole chapter is good. Verse 50, Isaiah 59:1, it says, behold, the Lord Yahweh's hand is not shortened that it cannot save, neither his ear heavy that it cannot hear. So if you're a wicked individual, the Lord is not hearing your prayers, but the prayers of the elect, okay, it's going to be heard, man. Okay, what does the scripture say? Let me search it. Hold on. I believe it's effectual. Prayers of the righteous. Okay. James 5:16, it says, confess your faults one to another and pray one for another, that ye may be healed. If the elect lock in, okay, and we put them prayers up, hey, that hedge of protection cannot be broken, man. Okay. It says the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. Okay. And we know the scriptures say the prayers of a sinner is an abomination. Okay. So a lot of you are going to cry out and you're not going to be heard. It says, Isaiah 59:2, but your iniquities have separated between you and your power, and your sins have hid his face from you that he will not hear. Okay. So our wickedness is what got us in this situation, man. Okay. So how is wickedness going to get you out of it? A lot of you going to double down on being carnal. Like you got guys saying, I hope they come to Chicago. Okay. Well, they're there now. Where are you? Okay. You see? And the first verse, it says, neither his ear heavy that it cannot hear. So the Lord hears us, man. The Lord hears the prayers of the elect. Okay. Verse 2 again, but your iniquities have separated between you and your power, and your sins have hid his face from you that he will not hear. Okay. So the reason the Lord wasn't hearing our prayers no more is because we went off. Okay. It says, for your hand to defile with blood and your fingers with iniquity, your lips have spoken lies, your tongue hath muttered perverseness. None calleth for justice, nor any pleadeth for truth. They trust in vanity and speak lies. Okay. So this is what you get. Okay. And you're all going to turn on each other. You 2/3, you heathen, the Edomites. It's going to be a free for all, man. Okay. To the point where the scriptures say the bodies will be cast out as dung. Okay. It says they conceive mischief and bring forth iniquity. Okay. Let me get down to the get down. Verse 7, it says, their feet run to evil and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity, wasting and destruction are in their paths. Okay. You've taken up the mantle of Esau, man. Okay. All of these gangs and all of these things that y'all are into in these inner cities, you got that from Esau, man. That wasn't our culture, coming over here. All right. It's basically witchcraft. A lot of those gangs, and you get deep into it, I'm not the expert on the gang culture, but a small amount of research, you can see that it's clearly linked to Satanism. Okay. It says the way of peace they know not. You're constantly looking for something. You got guys looking at you. You got a nice whip. You got a nice outfit on. Okay. You walk into a room or a restaurant or a bar, you know, a couple women look at you. Now they looking at you angry because some women looked at you, you know, ready. Okay, the way of peace they know not, and there is no judgment in their going. They have made themselves crooked paths. Whosoever goeth therein shall not know peace. And so the Lord's going to send that cruel Lord on your ass, man. Okay? Let me get down to the main point. The righteousness are going to be good, man. The righteous men are going to be good. Verse 19, the main point. So shall they fear the name of the Lord Jehovah from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. It's going to get dangerous out here. It's going to get bad. It's going to get horrific, terrifying. It's going to get dark. It's going to get gritty out here. Okay? Then y'all are going to try to call on the Lord, but the Lord ain't going to hear you, man. We've been trying to warn you that this nigga was not to be trusted. He's the devil. Stop going out there and voting. Stop thinking you have you can have some kind of life here. When the Lord declared this place to be destroyed, man. This is the valley of the shadow of death. Why would you want to rule and come up here, man? Okay? Anything you do or put your hand to in this society, you have to see this as temporary. You can have a business, make some money, you know, make a few investments here and there. But if you have any doubt in your mind that this place isn't going to be destroyed, then you're going to be swept up with it, man. Okay? The Lord's going to say, okay, that's your consolation. Okay? It says, when the enemy shall come in like a flood, the Spirit of the Lord Yahweh shall lift up a standard against him. Okay? But it's not going to be lifted up for the majority of you, man. Okay? Especially you women. Men are not going to care about chivalry. Okay? Chivalry's already dead. Okay? The only thing keeping it alive are simps. Okay? And the simps are going out in the first round. I'm calling it. Okay? Nobody respects the simp. Men don't respect them and women don't respect them. Literally, neither side respects the simp. Okay? This is what we have coming. Okay? Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws. Okay? And is that not who we're dealing with here? Okay? It says, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and a time and the dividing of time, but the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and destroy it unto the end. Okay? Did I miss the part? Think I missed it. Yeah, no, okay, Salakia, I read over it. Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High. Okay? He's not done wearing you down, man. You think that the modern age was there to you to enjoy a quality of life, but you're really getting farmed. He's really enriching himself to go do more wickedness. Okay? What he's done is pacified you in the meantime so you don't rebel. Okay? But now it's happening to the rebellious spirit. It's welling up in this place where a civil war is brewing. And who do you think these Edomite co-workers, okay, your so-called friends, your family, who do you think they're gonna choose? They're gonna try to save themselves, man. Okay? These people don't have integrity. They don't know Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Okay? Their God is their belly, okay? So great trouble is coming to the rebellious, man. And all of you guys that are becoming fearful and faint-hearted to the point where you would try to remix the scriptures about Jacob's trouble, well, guess what? The Lord is going to put your ass dead and center in Jacob's trouble, man. Okay? I'll read this real quick. And then I'm going to grab one more precept. Damn, it slipped my mind. Let me read this real quick. It may come back to me. Jeremiah 30:5, for thus saith the Lord Yahweh, we have heard a voice of trembling, of fear, and not of peace. Okay, so when the Lord returns, he ain't coming back with stringy blonde hair and blue eyes, smiling off of on a cloud with a halo over his head in a Greek toga. All right. The Lord say he's coming to bring division. Okay. To bring the sword, fire. Okay. So that's the time we're in. Yahweh Shai is on his way back, man. All right. It says, ask ye now whether a man doeth travail with child, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loins, as a woman in travail, and all faces are turned into paleness. Okay? What can cause that, man? Widespread violence, anarchy, chaos, panic. Okay? Verse 7, alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it, man. Okay? So that standard is going to be lifted up for the elect of Israel. Okay? It's called Jacob's trouble because 2/3 of you got to go, man. Okay? We're fighting the fight right now. Okay? The fight is being fought spiritually right now. Okay? So when the physical violence starts, we don't have to engage. Okay? And if we do have to engage, the Lord is going to step in on our behalf and give us what we need. Whether it be spiritual power to engage or spiritual power to disengage or intervention from an angel. Okay? Pure faith. That's what you need, man. Sincerity and faith, man. Okay? What was that precept I was thinking of, man? I can't think of it. Salakia. But, you know, it's clear what time it is, man. Okay? The Lord is getting ready to start putting, a lot of you are getting ready to be taken in great number. Okay? I'll put it to you that way. I'll end it there, man. Lord willing, this is edifying. Call halal Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai Bashim Rachak Shalom. Kwam Yasharal.